So Ben was supposed to be here with us, but I'm sorry, but Ben can't, like, he's not with us anymore.
Yeah, something very unfortunate happened to him.
Grant, what was that? Can you explain this to us?
Oh, no,
what happened to Ben?
What I've heard is he was walking on a trail and bumped into some guy who turned out to be Jackie Chan, got roundhouse kicked in the face, and it just didn't end well at all. So
Terrible.
he couldn't make it here with us, so we're just going to have to do without him for now. He'll fill in, you know.
Why couldn't Chuck Norris be there for him?
I don't know, man.
Dude, I mean, come on, that's messed up.
Yeah.
Roundhouse kicks, trails, not good.
Alright, so now for the book.
Yeah, so we were like discussing it, like we were just like talking about it, and we were just like, you know what? We're thinking, we were like, hey, dude, what's your favorite part of the book, you know? And I think we all came to agreement, you know? Is that about right?
Yeah, I was thinking about when he kills the general.
Who's he? Like, I mean, wait, when we're talking about Lev?
He is Lev.
Yeah, Lev is he.
And Lev, it was more of a defining moment for him since he never did anything like that.
Yeah.
And he's always carried around his knife with him pretty much the whole time since he's found it.
Yep.
And
Lev grew some balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that step becoming a man, you know. At the beginning of the story, he was just chilling out in Leningrad and was kind of a little wimp, didn't do much.
The balls were there, but they didn't drop.
Yeah, exactly.
They were just
and
there.
When he found the German soldier, he took his knife.
Yeah, and he's throughout the book, I think he is stepping up, and this when he kills these soldiers and the general, it kind of shows him becoming a man, like just because he kills them, and it's pretty tough to do.
Do you think he can shave now? I don't know. Like, do you think after that, like, he can actually, like, he has facial hair now?
I think it changed his life, and also he beat the general in chess.
Oh,
which is
chess.
Pretty big because he was supposed to be like the best chess player of the whole pretty much everywhere.
Those chess guys, they're crazy. Have you seen how fast they make their decisions? It's like, what? Dude, if you don't know, go to Doherty. They got a lot of those.
That's bad. Yeah, so, going through the book, there were, I don't know, how many characters would you say there were? There were like...
There was a lot.
There was a good amount.
15, maybe, 20?
It was mostly just Lev and Coyle, but they came across, like
so many
people. A lot of people.
So, like, if you had to choose one of those characters you would relate to, who would you choose?
I'd say Coyle, probably because he's more of a man, and that he just takes charge of what he does, and he doesn't
badass.
he doesn't really back down to anyone.
Yeah. I have to agree with that, just because, you know what, I think we're all studs, you know? I don't think that we, like, even Grant over here, you know? Sorry, Grant.
What are you saying?
Oh, no, nothing. I think we can all, I think we're all, like, Coyle, because we're not little wusses, like...
Yeah, because Lev is more of a, he's more
of a fighter, you know? He's like...
No, Lev.
Coyle is more of the fighter. Lev's like a little wuss. He's just like, don't touch me, don't mess with me.
Lev doesn't really want any part.
Yeah, Lev kind of goes out and he's always thinking about sex and stuff, and then Coyle is, you know, out there doing it.
Just getting the job done, you know? He just puts the team on his back.
Yeah, he's just he's more manly than Lev is, you know.
And, $10. Coyle, he's got a giant beard too. Like he's a man right there.
So I guess we all agree that we all kind of think we're more of like Coyle.
Yeah, no one wants to be like Lev. No one wants to be like Lev.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, all right. So I mean, how do you think you guys can like relate this book like in your own life? Like, I mean, I feel like it's kind of hard, but I think we can do it. Like
my own life. Well, yeah. Like I think throughout the book, how Lev grows into becoming a man, it kind of represents us growing through like childhood and then into our teenage years to our adulthood. Like
you guys haven't gotten there. I'm there now, but
yeah, whatever.
Just saying.
Alright, but yeah, so like I guess Lev in that shorter time, whether it was like it was a week. So Lev in that 1 week of growing kind of shows like a kid in his early stages of life.
He pretty much just went through puberty that whole week.
Yeah.
Where he was.
That sucks.
Yeah, he was more of.
Voice cracks in 1 week. That's the worst thing.
He pretty much got bullied by everyone he came across, and then by meeting Koila and just going through that whole journey, he pretty much became more of a man, learned how to stand up for himself.
Yeah, that makes sense. And like for me, like when I was a little kid, I was this like short, round, pudgy kid. I didn't have any friends. Nobody cared about me. So like,
and I was small and skinny.
I still am.
Great.
And now he's just small and just like cut, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
And
and you know what? I'm not short and pudgy anymore. So it's like we all just like we're all grown up now, you know.
And also,
Suba's got a sick beard.
You start out with like, you start young and you're not really smart. You don't really know how to like. You're not really street smart or book smart.
You just kind of do things.
I think Koila and Lev kind of learned how to become more street and book smart.
Uno momento. Popcorn. Be right back.
And they learned how to just understand how life works and how it is during the war, and just how to walk the streets, knowing how everything goes on in the city.
It's right back there. Yeah, there you go. All right, so yeah. So what do you think of all the characters in general? Like Lev, Koya, we've talked about them a lot. What about some of the other ones like Vika and her kind of group of soldiers that come on, or like the people who were the sex slaves? What do you think? What do you think about them? What do you guys think?
I think it's more of a kind of like a metaphor or a symbol just of what war does to you, and like they become sex slaves or cannibals when they came across the cannibals, like how everyone just goes their own ways or just pretty much saves themselves and tries to.
They like lose like the whole
the
whole meaning of just what it means to be civil.
Yeah,
Just
it's just survival.
Yeah, like you just like become like an animal, just like you just react off of instinct, you know. Popcorn. Awesome, guys.
That's good. And then so the cannibals are pretty much showing how that the food's scarce and how they get like a bread like a piece of bread a day. So you pretty much like start to eat each other and pretty much kill each other and just
meat's
survival
better than
fittest
bread.
pretty much.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Ballroom.
I think Vika and the whole group, they seem like pretty chill because they're out to get the job done, kind of doing whatever it takes because they go and shot up a bunch of German soldiers and then had to get kind of captured. They kind of snuck into a group of prisoners, went incognito so they could get as close to the general as they could before they went for him. And in the end, they got him, which I thought was pretty cool. Even though Lev actually killed him, they kind of did a lot of the setup.
And I felt bad for the sex slaves because that was pretty much the only way they can live.
Yeah,
by doing that.
Yeah, like at least when the Germans weren't there, they were they had music, a nice fire. They were warm, well fed and stuff. But just like that's probably pretty emotionally tolling. Having to go through that every single night and just kind of being abused like that.
And when the soldiers came, those guys were pretty messed up, and it just showed that they
know,
don't even care about anyone. The war just made them like pretty much animals.
Yeah, they were all drunk or whatever, and just kind of didn't care.
Yeah.
But like, war kind of does that to a guy. I mean, not all of them, but
it could just show like how the time was, the setting of how that whole World War was, and like everything. How it took a toll on everyone in the whole country and both sides of the battlefield.
Yeah. I can't really imagine what it's like to like being forced just to have sex, just to survive, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
like nowadays, it's pretty much the same thing. How they have people like that.
Yeah, I mean
Vegas.
So it makes you kind of, I guess, feel bad for more of them and kind of just not treat them like dirt because they're actually just trying to make a living. And
like out here, it's just like people just do it just because, Like it's just, it's. I don't know, it's forced, it's your choice either way, but.
Yeah.
I mean, when these guys are threatened with like, you got to, or else you're gonna not survive. I mean, I'm kind of hard. Like, that sucks.
Yeah. I so like borders. When what borders do you guys think the characters were faced with? Like what hardships and what happened during the story that you just kind of looked at that and like, oh, he's gonna have a hard time with that.
Like when you talk about borders, you're like thinking of like their edges and the lines that they cross, and I think they both pretty much just crossed the line of civilization and how they came across like the cannibals, where they just go in there and they're these two people trying to eat them, and that's like nothing they've ever seen before. And
How do you keep your head with that? Like, how do you stay like?
yeah,
How do you not go crazy?
yeah.
Like,
And for Lev and Corla to stay sane the whole time while everybody else is insane,
yeah.
that's pretty big. Like it shows how strong they are, really.
No, like, it also shows like how strong their relationship is with each other. You know, like if you got two guys who are just out there,
Yeah.
I mean, they're the only like ones who are just like, like they still got their mind. They're still fresh. You know, if they're able to just stay together and just like keep building each other up, instead of one guy going crazy and letting the other guy go crazy too. They stay strong together. It's like a brothership. A brotherhood kind of thing.
I think they were definitely faced with also having to get past like being hungry all the time, being cold. Because I mean, even before this whole thing started, just when Lev and Koila were living their own lives, every single day, just because there wasn't much food going around, they were always hungry. They were always hungry and whatnot, and so that was just throughout the book. You always see that they're either hungry or cold because they're walking for days on end, and that's. I don't think that'd be very good. I mean, like we're pretty fortunate we get 3 meals a day, and then they just have to go. And,
I get 8. Just kidding. It's probably something like that.
yeah, but then they just.
It's
They
more
don't
of like
have
their
much.
comradeship of them.
Yeah.
Like Lev and Corla, how if it wasn't for each other, that one of them, if it was just one of them, then they would have died like the first day.
Yeah.
Since they stuck together, then they survived and
Yeah, it's like a
they worked
teamwork.
together. Yeah. So they learned how to work together, and they learned friendship and comradeship, and just learned how to just be together and go through their whole journey.
I feel like if other people in that same situation, like have people they could just stick with, how they're like people with them, it would like they would have gone through it too. But I mean, it seems like a lot of those guys were alone, or they thought they were alone, so they ended up like betraying all their families just to survive. When really, if you had stuck together, like you guys would have had a much better chance. But,
And I think a big thing is that they're both opposites of each other. How like Lev is the opposite of Corla, and
Yeah, so
Corla's the opposite of Lev.
in a way, they fit perfectly because
Yeah.
what one
yeah,
can
they both
do,
like complement each other.
yeah, when one of them can't do something, the other one's there
Yeah.
can do it, and then if neither of them can do something, then they both just work together and get it done.
For her.
Like Corla's a hothead, and then Lev's more patient. So it helps them in both ways through the whole journey.
Yeah, like an example of that, getting the eggs. I mean, Kola kind of talked up the soldiers and was the one who got Lev in to play chess, and then Lev actually played the chess and
Yeah, exactly.
got
So it just
just
builds
that-
his confidence.
yeah, like that teamwork, just working together. Like,
I mean, like, but everyone's different. We all have our different skills. So, like, just being able to use your different skills to benefit the team, It's like any team sport, It's like you all have a different job.
They have
Yeah.
different aspects.
Well, the
Yeah.
different skills you have, use them to your advantage. So,
yeah, like all working together, like
Teamwork.
Yeah, like a team. Just how there's so many different parts, and they just all come together to do one job correctly.
and it's like, and that's not like they're having like fun with it, There's something they had to do, or else they were gonna die, It's like, I think if like, anytime someone's forced to work with someone when it's life or death, like they're gonna figure out, like they're either gonna like make it work or it's gonna get destroyed. They're gonna get killed. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.